Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Salsa Knox Porch Office.
Yes. What a great day. It's a beautiful day out here.
It's hot.
And we're keeping it real. Both just woke up. So,
Wait.
okay, I took a nap. All right. Today is a beautiful day. Why is it a beautiful day? Because today's tip.
It's Monday.
Yes, it is Monday. And Monday usually is one of the hardest days of the week to get going, to get inspired. We done a lot of research, and it is proven that more people have strokes and heart attacks on Monday, right? So we want to continue our mission of educating and bringing you guys diversity and culture through our live webinars and a little bit of happiness, so maybe you can have a great day today on this fabulous Monday. All right, today's topic, if you can read above, right? Rich people thinking versus poor people thinking, okay? Again, all of the things that we discuss are a journey that Waldo and I are taking as part of our own growth process, and we invite you guys along on the journey to reflect, to give feedback, and to join it, okay? This is not us telling you necessarily, like Waldo always says, us telling you what to do and who to be and what is this and that. No, we are on a journey of our own happiness, of our own growth. So, we read something today that was really awesome, okay? There is a list of 17 ways that rich people, okay, think and act differently from poor and middle class people even, okay? And we probably would consider ourselves maybe middle class, but how do wealthy people think differently? We talked a lot yesterday about inner circle, who are the 5 closest people around you, and you're a product of that. So how is it that they think differently? And we've come up with 17 ways through research and reading some different things. And we're going to focus on the first way that, that they think differently. And we want to impart that to you just so that you can be a little bit more aware. Because remember, awareness is kind of that space between your thoughts and your actions. So we've got to start changing our thinking, okay? And before I get started, I do want to say this as a preface. One thing, if you really want to start changing your thinking, and today we're talking about financial topics, but this can relate to relationship, health, happiness, anything you want to do to make a change, you have to be open in your mind to doing so. You have to clear your mind. We've been doing a lot of different, things with that. But you have to be willing to be aware and to hear where you are in the process. If you're not even willing to identify where you are, how can you grow? I'm going to give you a personal example before we get started today. Just today, somebody gave me some feedback that I interrupt Waldo a lot when he's talking. You can comment below. I think it was actually one of our videos. And she was like, girl, you need to stop interrupting him. I just have so much to say. But I do. I interrupt a lot. That's a problem. I have recognized it. I used to be in denial about it. But you have got to own up to things people are telling you. Even if they tell you in kind of a rude way, like it could be truth. It could be real. So I'm opening up myself in this whole process to change. And I hope you do so too. We're going to be honest and vulnerable with you today. So, wealth file number 1. Okay, how do rich people think differently than poor and middle class people? Here it is. Get ready. Drum roll, please. No drum roll. Okay. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe this life happens to me. I'm going to read that one more time. Let that sink in. Don't have any immediate reaction to that. Let me just read it again. Rich people believe I create my own life. And poor people believe life happens to me. So how, if you're watching right now and you're like, I'm not really sure, I mean, that sounds really good. I know I create my life. There are some ways that there's some clues to identify which side that you're on, if this is you or not. Besides, are you wealthy, okay? We're talking about mindset, wealthy mindset, poor mindset, okay? So here's number 1 way to recognize whether you're a rich mindset or a poor mindset.
Okay.
Clue number 1, the blame game. The blame game. When it comes to why rich people are rich, okay, victims, okay, the poor mindset will be victims. They will be professionals at the blame game. You want to know the object of this blame game? The object is to see how many people and circumstances you can point the finger at without ever looking at yourself. It's really fun for the victims. So that's your first clue that you have a poor person, or that we have a poor person mindset. If you are blaming, you are the victim always. You are always the victim. They blame the economy. They blame the government. They blame the stock market, their broker. Blame anybody around them because it's really fun. Their object is to see how many people they can blame. Okay, so that's the first clue, that you are stepping into a poor person mindset of life happens to me. All right, here's the next clue. Here we go. Victim clue number 2. Justifying. You justify everything. And if you're a victim, you're not blaming. That was the first clue. You're going to be justifying or rationalizing your situation by saying something like, we're talking about finances. Money's not that important, okay? But I wrote down this question. Let me ask you this question, okay? If you said that your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner or friend weren't all that important, would any of them be around for very long? I don't think so. And neither will your money. Okay, that was a huge aha moment for me. I have said that before. Money isn't all that important. But let me read you this question again, okay? If you said any of that, if you said my husband's really not that important, or my friend's not really, they're not going to be around very long. It is the same with your money. It is the same with your health. We talk about these 4 big topics. It is the same with your wealth. It is the same with your happiness. If you don't think your happiness, what'd you say?
You love to.
Yeah. If you don't think your happiness is that important, guess what? It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna hang around very long. So that just stuck out to me when I read that earlier, and I wanted to share that with you. Okay? So if you blame or justify, if we blame or justify, we're in a poor mindset. Number 3, there's a third one. Can you believe it? 3 clues to know that you're on the wrong side of the thinking coin. And I bet you've already guessed it. Okay? Victims do this. They complain. We complain. So it is the absolute worst thing that you can do for your health, for your worth, for your relationships. Why are you laughing? Okay.
Raymond said that he's always broke. That's why he's always broke.
Okay, listen.
Well,
we're being real right now. We are being real. Let's give some shout outs. Is anybody else listening to us today? Because this is real talk, y'all. Real talk.
We have Primero, Max, Raymond, Jorge.
Oh, hey, Samantha. Hey,
Samantha.
Raymond. Y'all, this is real, okay? When the hair goes up in a bun like this, you know it's real time, real talk. So, complaining. We are big believers in universal law, okay? And the concept is what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. So when you're complaining, what are you focusing on, okay? What's right with your life or what's wrong with your life? So you're obviously focusing on what's wrong with it. And since what you're focusing on expands, you're going to keep getting more of what's wrong. Let that sink in for a second. Complaining is the worst, and it makes us feel so good, doesn't it? When other people blame and justify and complain with us. And when you do this, guys, I wrote this quote down. I love it. It says, you become a living, breathing crap magnet. When you start complaining, listen, let me just blame a second right here. I'm just kidding. But that really makes sense. When you are complaining, you become a crap magnet. There is literal crap that will be flung at you, okay, when you start the complaining. And here's the other aha moment that I've had, and this is true. You can prove this. Look at any successful person, whether they're successful relationships, go Oprah, whoever that is, that you talk show host, somebody you look up to, Russell Brunson, if you're in the finance world, whoever your successful person is, if you look at any of these people, this statement I'm about to read is true. There is no such thing as a really rich victim. Oh, he needs you in the bathroom. There is no such thing as a really rich victim, because they do not do these things. They do not justify, blame, or complain. So, if that is you, you're like, oh gosh, I do all three of those things on the daily. What can I do? Okay, what can I do? There are some things you can do. Okay? Number one, every time you find yourself doing one of these things, blaming or justifying or complaining, slide your finger, okay? This will be a really good visual. I heard this and I loved it. Slide your finger across your throat like this every time you do it to yourself, as a trigger to remind yourself that you are slitting your own, and then put in blank, financial throat, relationship throat, wealth area, whatever it is. Because every time you do any of those things, blame, justify, complain, you are slitting your own potential, and they call that the figurative financial throat or relationship throat or whatever it may be. So just do that. Okay, that is a really good reminder for you. Number two, you've got to do a debrief. Okay, at the end of each day, you need to write down one thing that went well and one thing that did not. And then write the answer to the following question. How did I create, okay, each of the situations? If others were involved, okay, if somebody else was involved, ask yourself, what was my part in creating the situation? And it's going to help you become accountable. It's going to help you stay accountable. Okay, 1 second, sorry. Lots of puppy barking over here. So those are just two really easy things that you can do. I love this motion right here because it's like, oh, man, I'm complaining. I am literally cutting off my own throat in whatever that topic is. And then simply, like it said, writing down one thing that went well and one thing that didn't. And then how did you help create those situations? Okay, so that's just kind of a little bit of knowledge that we want to impart with you guys. That's just one way that rich people think differently than middle class and poor people, and that's the first wealth file. There are many. We came up with 17 that we were research based. Tomorrow, just to give you a little sample of the second way that rich people think differently than poor and middle class people is this, and we'll be talking about it more tomorrow. Rich people play the money game to win, and poor people play the money game to not lose. So I will let you think about that and what that means for tomorrow. And we will be back with you tomorrow. Sorry, Waldo had to go get my son. But it's real life, y'all. It's real talk. I'm sure Waldo will have a lot to say on wealth file number 2. Please comment and share. If we can just bring a little happiness and joy along the way, in addition to educating and spreading knowledge of culture and diversity, we are here to do that. Expand your thinking, grow, and love each other, guys, because you only have one life, and you gotta live it. Love you guys, and see you soon.